Hi folks, Matthew here. I want to give you some information about the last 2 weeks, weeks 6 and 7 of the course. We only have 2 weeks left. We have one major assignment, which includes a bunch of minor assignments, and then that's it. And also, you need to turn in your final draft for your evaluation essay, and that's about it. So, if you go into the content, you'll see that in Module 7, Writing Argument Essay, I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. I just want to address one thing first, your evaluation final draft. That is due on Sunday, July 14th, so 1 week from today, by midnight. And then I'll grade that in the next day or two, 3 days after that Sunday. For your evaluation final drafts, please make sure you are using MLA style for everything. Make sure that everything's double spaced. Make sure it's nice and neat and clean. Make sure that you are evaluating the essay, or the article rather, that you have chosen, not that you are arguing particular facets of the content of the article. This is an important distinction because if you are, let's take an essay on GMOs, for example, you can evaluate the content of the, or you could, you can evaluate the article itself. Is the article reliable? In other words, does it say what it is intended to say? Is the article valid? Does it say what it's intended to say? Is it true? But that's only one facet. Is the article reliable? In other words, what have other people said about this particular topic? And then maybe, is the article appropriate for your particular content? So you're not evaluating the article itself, although you can, as you're evaluating certain facets, you can bring in other scholars to refute the article's position or something like that. So if you're doing an article on GMOs and the article states that GMOs are really bad and they should not be in our foods and so on and so forth, you can say, so Dr. So-and-so says this about GMOs. However, all these other scholars say this about GMOs, right? And you should also take into account the quantity and quality of other people's articles if you're going to do that. If you take those into account, then you can address the content in a limited way as it pertains to the article itself. Be sure that it, especially if it is a pillar in that particular community. For example, if you are addressing an article written by the person who coined the term GMOs, right? Make sure that you are using rhetoric that is appropriate. You're addressing that person by their honorific, doctor or professor or something like that. And make sure that you are being fair to that person and unbiased. And remember, this is not an evaluation, or this is an evaluation essay, not an argumentative essay. So with your argumentative essay, you got the introduction right here and the activities right there. And I've got the argument guidelines here. This is about a 4-page essay with at least 4 sources. At least 4 pages and at least 4 sources. And there are several pieces to this. There's the proposal, there's the outline, there's the rough draft, there's the revised draft, and there's the final draft. I will put this on D2L as well, but you should turn them all in around the same time. You can absolutely ask me for feedback. Do this at any time. But if you want feedback, you need to ask me something specific, like, hey, is this thesis statement appropriate for this topic? Or are these sources reliable enough? Or how does this paragraph sound? Or something like that. I will not grade them in isolation, and I need specific questions. And this is so that you can practice independence in your writing and so you can show me a progression of drafts. So this particular essay is called a Conan 1 essay. You can take one of the topics, you can take the topic from your evaluation essay, or you can take another topic from this list. Again, please address this appropriately. I have a video here specifically about the Conan 1 essay. It's a type of argumentative essay, and it's only about a minute, but it does kind of break it down. And then I have two examples. Now I haven't used contentious topics, or I haven't used topics that we've talked about in class or anything. I've used a really kind of nonsense topic because I want you to see how this essay is organized. I've also used fictional sources, so just so you know that. So a couple of the highlights of this kind of essay. This essay does not argue your particular position. It only refutes the strongest positions of the opposition. Your thesis is at the very end of your first paragraph, and then the second paragraph contains the opposition's claims, say the three main opposition claims, right? Then the next paragraph, see how this is yellow and this is yellow. The next paragraph refutes that first claim of the opposition. The following paragraph refutes the second claim of the opposition. And the last paragraph, or the last point, or you can have 4 points or whatever, refutes the last point of the opposition. Then there's a short conclusion here, and then I've put in some fake sources. And to follow up on that, I've got the same essay but with annotations. I'm not sure why it formatted like that on D2L, but it did. That's why I put both in there. So you should be able to see those things. That is the kind of the format, the structure of the evaluation essay. Or, sorry, the structure of the Conan 1 essay, which is a type of argumentative essay. So as you can see here, the evaluation final draft is due on Sunday. Then you have the argument proposal, which looks like this. It's really straightforward. Then you have the argument proposal assignment folder. You have the Conan 1 outline, and it goes exactly off of the organizational structure that I gave you in the example essays. Then the Dropbox, or the assignment folder for that. Then you have a rough draft. This is first draft stuff, right? Doesn't have to be carefully edited or formatted or whatever. Get it down on paper. If you're a type of person who does pen and paper or pencil and paper for a first draft, this is where you would upload that particular the pictures of that draft. Then I've got some tips for you for the revised draft. This is making it as good as you can without any additional input, right? So so then what do you do after that? Turn that in, right? So then give it a break. The reason, or I'll tell you about this in a second actually. So get on this right away so that you can then leave it alone for a day, come back to it, and very carefully comb through it a couple of times before you turn it into the final draft. And then that's the assignment. So, and then you have the rubric as well. So this is a 2-week module, well, a week and a half module. If you take a look at, let me see if I can come up with a calendar. if you take a look at July, so down here, I've got all my calendar stuff here. So if you take a look at this calendar down here, you can see that the evaluation essay is due on Sunday the 14th. All of the other components, the proposal, the outline, the rough draft, the revised draft, and the final draft are due on Friday, July 19th. So please make sure they're turned in by then. So you have about a week and a half, little over a week and a half, to knock out this one module. And that's it. That's the end of the course. I'll try and throw up a final video for you, or if I see you turning in stuff and I need to address some things, kind of as a class, I'll throw up a video. But other than that, that's it. Please feel free to reach out to me if you need some assistance. Remember, talk specifically and address those questions specifically to me. And please don't forget those tips that I gave you for the evaluation essay. I am happy to work with you on those, as I've mentioned in the comments. And you are feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about any of those comments that I gave you. I want you to be successful in this class, and that means being willing to accept the constructive criticism and the praise, and being willing to improve over time. So have a wonderful week and a half, and I will see you online.